so we're kind of in the whirlpool now. Are you guys dropping any advanced hot products in on your West Coast IPAs now? So are you using any cryo, any hop oils, anything like that on these beers?
Not on these, not currently. We're not using. We use those a bunch, but not in this beer.
I'm assuming on the hazy side.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think. I mean, gosh, increasingly, I think it's probably. I'll say this: I'm guessing it's really challenging not using those hot products and making those hazy beers top level.
Right.
That's my guess.
Right. Yeah.
If you're doing it all with T90 and you're making a baller hazy,
that's
dude,
incredible.
Good for you, man. Good for you. Yeah, because that's a tall order. All right, so we're not looking at any advanced hot products in here. So we're talking all T90 pellets. Let's get into the fermenter now. We're going into the fermenter. What are you fermenting these West Coast IPAs with, Bill?
So we're using Cal Ale 001.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you guys repitching that at your place?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's gosh, it's been a while since I've really run that strain. Because right now for me everything is either lager yeast or juice or London 3. You know what I mean? I will have some dry 04 in-house from time to time.
We do too.
Dry 04 is so easy for like a one-off root beer. Like something I can't repitch. Yeah. It's just so easy. And especially if you're going to slap it with fruit and maybe some extract to get some additional nose on it. By the time you put 500 pounds of fruit in something
it doesn't
and touch it up, that 04 or 05 dry isn't going to matter in that scenario. And so you're running Chico on that. We didn't really get into kind of the size of this beer. So what are we looking at original gravity wise with hop on top?
So we're looking at like 1072, 1068 ish.
Yeah. And then how far is that going down?
We're getting it down to like 1006 or 1008.
Oh,
unfortunately.
Here we go. Now here might be our conversation.
Yeah.
And we're probably, so we'll just say this: we're fermenting with Chico.
Yeah.
We're getting a tremendous amount of attenuation.
Oh yeah, huge amount.
Yeah, drying right out, baby.
Yeah.
And I think we all know why. So let's talk about let's get into our dry hop and roll right into the hop creep conversation.
Yeah,
all right. So what are you doing for the dry hop? When is it happening? What hops, volume, everything like that?
So we're 6 or 7 days in. We're a pound per barrel each of Simcoe Citra split right down the middle.
Okay. Yeah. So 2 pounds per barrel of Citra and Simcoe.
Yeah.
And then so you still probably have some fermentation left. Some expected fermentation left.
Yeah, we're 10-12 before we dry hop, which would be great to finish at, but
sure.
Hop creep drags us on down. You know?
Yeah, and so you're still at ambient at that point, and
we
are. Ambient at that point is probably is it 68 or have you ramped it up?
No, 68.
You're gonna dry hop, and then that thing is gonna start chugging again.
Yeah, it will. It'll re-ferment,
and it's gonna march down another 1.5 degrees Plato or 6 points
at least. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a lot, man.
No, that's
wild. That's wild.
We adjust our bitterness to account for the fact that it's going to get down that low.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So talk to me about that. Well, what do you mean? Are you adjusting it up, adjusting it down?
Adjusting down early.
Yeah.
For the fact that I love it to finish at 10-12, but it's going to finish at 10-08. So
yeah, and when it drops down that much more, it's almost like if you think about like a mountain and ice melt, right? Yeah. So if you have a mountain here and it's covered up to here with ice, you're only going to see this much of the mountain.
Exactly.
But you start dropping that snow away, or you start pulling more sugar away, that mountain's going to show more and more. That mountain's the bitterness, right?
Exactly.
And so you pull that sweetness back, and that's really what's happening with your hop creep here, right?
Yeah,
is you're And I know there's been some things back and forth on it, but just kind of ballpark. I think I even heard Vinny talk about it recently, but really we're looking at a situation where the hops that we're using more than likely have an enzyme that is not being denatured in the processing and is breaking down. That enzyme is breaking down non-fermentable sugars or long chain sugars into fermentable or short chain sugars.
Yeah, and it all comes from that push by Vinny and Matt Brown and John Mallett to have a more flavorful hop at lower kilning temperatures.
Yeah, man.
And here we are.
And it is tough, man. It's a bear to deal with. And, you know, like I'm moving into a little bit different chapter right now, but I've not had to worry about it because I've done cooler dry hop, and I'm also not putting a ton of beer on store shelves warm. Yeah, I'm not throwing it up until, you know, I am going to be canning more as we go throughout the year, but you know, I'm not doing a ton of that. So it's almost like you don't have to worry about it. If you're making IPA and getting it cold and keeping it cold, you're in pretty good shape. But you're not in that situation because you're in cans, you're in distro. Yeah. And dude, it just is what it is. So you have to let that hop creep run, because if you don't let it run, what's going to happen to the beer?
Then we're going to end up with diacetyl in the can, and that's what we do not want.
Yeah.
So we got to pass VDK, make sure we're not getting diacetyl. And I know there's new enzymes out there. Julian Schrago is using them. Everybody's using them.
Yeah.
The ALDS or whatever.
ALDC, I think.
Yeah. And that's we just got some of that, so we're gonna
awesome, dude. You got to check it out, because first of all, I haven't yet, and if you guys can figure it out before me, that always works for me.
And you're not really worried about the added carbonation in the can because it's minimal. You're really worried about the diacetyl production.
Yeah.
So if we can get that, and that just tightens up the production schedule. We don't have to wait on BDK, you know. We can go 7 days dry hop is good enough. Boom, crash it, move it. We don't have to worry about diacetyl production through hop creep, which is amazing.
Sure, and because it really is, and functionally what it is it's a production pain. Yeah, and it's a quality control thing. It's those two things, you know. And you know, ultimately we're in the business of flipping tanks on some level.
That's right.
And you got to be able to move them. And we just had a conversation earlier in the month where, you know, we're kind of talking about diacetyl, and sometimes I always think about it through the lens of lager. Yeah. That last little stage I need to pass through on all these gentle lagers I'm making, right? But dude, it has some serious utility on that hop forward side.
For sure,
you and Andy keep me in the loop, man. I'm looking forward to learn. But bro, it shouldn't be much. I don't think you guys are going to be using more than maybe 75 mils in a batch in 20 barrels. Maybe you guys do not take that as recommendation, but you would want to run it on your own calculator, everything like that. But I think it's just at pitch. So like I'm using Clarex and everything now, except my hazy stuff.
Absolutely.
And so it just goes in. It just goes in with the Clarex. And run with it. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. We're just getting into it. I'm excited about it.
And hopefully it can clear up some headaches for you guys. And I know you run some lagers too, so it might have some utility. And it's not I mean, you start thinking about, I mean, obviously there is some cost, but I still think it's not more than $20 a batch.
No, yeah, I agree.
Could be wrong.
No, I think you're right.
I think it's cheap, but I mean, just you start. If you start reclaiming tank residency days,
exactly.
That stuff adds up in a hurry, man.
Yeah, you're right about that.
It adds up in a hurry. So, you know, we're kind of through this dry hop. The beer is finishing out dry because you are fighting that hop creep.
Yeah, and we're letting it take its course.
Because you have to, man. I mean, that's you're at the mercy of it. We've talked about that dry hop. What's your contact time for your dry? Well, really, you're waiting until it's done.
Yeah. So we're 7-10 days. You know, we're waiting that creep. You know,
Wow.
so it's probably 8-9 days before we pass VDK and we can crash it.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, I'm so excited for you for the well, it might be, I can't remember which one it is for that enzyme. We'll say that. We'll say that.
A couple days will be cut off, and that over a year.
Oh yeah, man. That's the real deal.
Yeah.
That's the real deal. I do know that you guys have a little fancy gadget. So after you guys get those beers cold, between that and the bright tank, what do you have in there, man?
Yeah, we got a centrifuge. Yeah,
nice, man.
Which is the best thing in the fucking world.
How long have you been running that thing, man?
It's been almost 2 years, probably.
Nice.
2 years ish. Yeah.
And you get some volume back off that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because biofine, we're losing a barrel or whatever out of a bright tank. Now we get every drop of that. And for lagers and anything that's not dry hops, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Zip it all through there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then you're carbing in line. So by the time you're going from your fermenter through there. So how clear are you taking this West Coast IPA? Do you have any, because you have the ability to dial up and down turbidity with that heat. No, I almost called the heat exchanger with the with the centrifuge. Yeah. Do you go crystal clear with that beer, or do you like to have a little bit of sheen to it?
No. I want to go as clear as we possibly can. You know, some batches are better than others. We'll push it through as fast as we can and get as clear as we can. Yep. But ideally, I'd like it crystal clear. You know? Sure. We don't always hit that mark, but that's what we're aiming for.
And that's got to be nice, and that's got to be a nice, I mean, basically just yellow straw kind of beer, right? At that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's awesome. And then what are you carbing that up to these days?
So we're at 2.6, 2.7, generally 2.6 is our preferred. Okay. Then when we get it in can, it might be like 2.5, you know, through the canning process.
You're always going to lose something with that next stage, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely. Absolutely. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you feel as if you got any value out of the video, please like and subscribe. There are also other videos that you can watch. They're going to maybe be over here or over here. Appreciate you watching.